But if you're very, very high IQ, there's some evidence that suggests that it's actually very hard to be successful.
Is that why gifted kids are often special needs? That was one of your most viewed videos.
Yeah, so this was something that blew my mind when I was in residency training. I had a supervisor one time that told me that, like, gifted kids are like special needs kids. And that kind of blew my mind. And I asked her, like, what do you mean by that? And so she started explaining this to me. And then I sort of realized it. And I realized that this is what had happened to me. So if you think about a child who's gifted, right? So let's say that you're in like the top 1 or 2% of IQ. The first thing to understand is that your experience of school is going to be very different, right? So kids who are very smart literally have needs that are different from the average kid. So if we look at academics, so that school moves at the pace of the slowest child, right? If we look at our school system, what's it designed to do? Schools are not places where we take kids and we try to have them live up to their fullest potential. Kids are places, if you look at like the mandates around schools, it's about like leaving no child behind. So the system is sort of designed to take the worst performing kids and kind of like make sure they're doing okay. So if we look at like special education at schools, what is special education for? It's for the kids who are struggling, not the kids who are bored. And this is what tends to happen with kids who are super smart, is that they get bored with school. I remember when I was like in the first grade, my math teacher gave me a worksheet and she was like, here's the worksheet. And so I did the worksheet and I walked up to her and I said, like 10 minutes later, I gave it to her and I was like, can I have the next one? And she's like, what do you mean the next one? This is what we're doing today. And so school is incredibly boring. And then what tends to happen is that these kids start to like flounder in a lot of ways. They get distracted in a lot of ways. They become uninvested in education. Mm-hmm. The other problem that they run into is that if you're a kid who does really well in school and you're not challenged, you don't develop study habits. So this is a really common problem where what happens is you're at the top of your class in the first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh grade. You hit high school and now suddenly you need to study. And you haven't developed any study habits and you literally do not know how to study. So what you'll see is this like tanking of GPA for kids who have high IQ as they reach the natural point where their raw intellect is no longer sufficient for like learning calculus, right? And so these are the kinds of needs that kids have that we don't sort of recognize when they've got high IQ.